Okay, this is a quick video on how to factorize a quadratic and specifically splitting the middle term. Okay, there's three ways to factorize a quadratic. This is one of them, okay, and we're going to get stuck in if we want to factorize, let's say, x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okay, now you follow this method, this will work every time if you can factorize it, okay? If it is able to factorize. So we look at this, we want to split the middle term. We want to find two numbers that multiply to give, okay, what's the number in front of the x squared? 1. Okay, so two numbers that multiply to give 1 times this number. So that's 1 times negative 10 is negative 10. But the same two numbers have to add together to give the middle term, which is 3. Okay, what are the two numbers? Okay, now the easiest way to go through this is to think of the numbers that multiply to give 10 first. So 10 and 1. 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. Is there any way I can get 3 out of that by adding or subtracting? No. What about 5 and 2? 5 2s are 10, yes. Can I get 3 out of that? Yes, I can if I make this one negative. 5 take away 2 is 3. 5 add negative 2 is 3. So my two numbers are 5 and negative 2. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 5 add negative 2 is positive 3. We take our two numbers and we substitute them back into our equation. So I've got x squared plus, I'm going to just change the color so you can see, plus 5x, take away 2x, back to blue, and then I've got my take away 10 at the end. Okay, I've taken these two numbers, substituted them back in. The next thing we do, we look at the first half only, okay, we split it up. We take out a common factor. Okay, if you're not sure about common factors, I will do another how-to on that. What is the common factor of x squared and 5x? What goes into both of these? X. We think to ourselves, x times what is x squared? X times x. X times what is positive 5? Well, plus 5. You take this bracket and you write it down exactly the same way, okay? These two brackets must be the same, and you think to yourself, what number has to go here so that when I expand this out, it gives me this line. Okay, well, I'm going to have to definitely have a 2, because 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 5 is positive 10. I need negative, so it has to be negative. And then to finish it off, you take everything that's outside the brackets and everything that is inside. So to show you, you end up getting x minus 2, and what's inside the bracket? X plus 5. Okay, you do this method, it will work every single time. Okay, let me just do one more. Okay, so the next one we want to factorize is 6x squared minus 13x plus 6. So it looks not particularly very nice, but it's exactly the same process. Okay, we want two numbers that multiply to give. Okay, now we said in the first one, 1 times negative 10, which was negative 10. In this one, we want two numbers that multiply to give 6 times 6, which is 36. And the same two numbers have to add to give negative 13. Right. Now, in order to try and find the numbers, let's start with the positive 36. So what numbers multiply to give 36? Let's just start writing them down. I've got 1 and 36. Can I add or subtract them in any way to get 13? Nope. Let's try 2 and 18. 2 times 18 is 36. But again, there's no way to add or subtract these to get negative 13. 3 and 12. Again, that's not going to add or subtract to give me negative 13. 4 and 9. Okay, 4 9s are 36. 4 add 9 is 13. I want to get an answer of negative 13 now. So if I make this negative, negative 4 add negative 9 is negative 13. That works. Negative 4 multiplied by negative 9 is positive 36. So I've got my two numbers. Okay, you just work through it systematically. Just close that bracket. So negative 4, negative 9. That is the hardest bit. When you've got the two numbers, you just substitute them in. So I've got 6x squared minus 4x. Just take on this number, and then minus 9x plus 6. We then drop a line down, take out a common factor here. What is our common factor? Well, what number goes into 4 and 6? 2. And I can also take out an x. 2 times what gives me 6? 2 3s. X times what gives me x squared? X. 2 times what gives me 2? 2. And x times 1, so that's just take away 2. 2x times 2 is 4x, and it's subtracting. We take that exact same bracket, write it down. The brackets must be the same. Okay, what now has to go in here to make this true whenever I expand this? Okay, well, let's think. I need a 9 here. I've got a 3, so I have to have a 3 here. 3 times 3 is 9. It has to be a negative 9, so I'm going to have a negative 3. And let's just check, because negative 3 times negative 2 will give me positive 6. And to finish it off, you take what's outside the brackets, put them inside a bracket. So I've got 2x minus 3. Take everything that is inside the bracket, write it down, and it doesn't matter which way around. You know, you could put this bracket that I'm writing down now, you could write that first, it doesn't matter. So like if you wrote 3x minus 2, 2x minus 3, both are fine, okay? And that is it factorized. You've now put your equation, your quadratic, into brackets. You could check it, of course, by expanding it. That is quite difficult to do without using a method. If you're going to use trial and error, you're more than likely going to get it wrong. You follow this method, it will work every time if you're using the method of splitting the middle term, and it is factorizable. Okay, give me a shout if you need any questions.